And we are live. Welcome, Crypto Warriors, to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 551. Today is Tuesday, February 25th, and I'm your host, Bitcoin Zay, here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10ish. I have some great news stories for you today, starting with our top story. New Zealand proposes free crypto from some taxes to promote growth. How to protect Bitcoin for your heirs with the push of a dead man's button. Crypto-friendly banking app, now one of Europe's most valuable fintechs. And last but not least, billionaire investor Tim Draper quit stocks for Bitcoin 6 months ago, and also his criticism of Warren Buffett. So today, like I said, we have some great news for you. But let's first get into these prices. Bitcoin down 2.5%, down to $9,377. Ethereum took a tumble yesterday, down 5% to $251. Ripple still tumbling, down 5% as well to 25 cents. Bcash at $350 is down 4% today. Litecoin at $70 is down 3%. And the only green shown on here is EOS at $4.09 is up 1% today. So those are your prices for some of the major cryptocurrencies. But nothing to fret there. We've seen this up and down for the last few months. It's a grind up. As some people say, it's a escalator going up, it's an elevator going down. So it's a grind up whenever you have a valuable asset gaining price. So nothing to worry about whenever you see a little bit of negative and red in the charts. Let's shout out the people that's jumping into the chat now. Shout out to everybody on Facebook. Crystal, shout out to you. P-Man Van, good to see you. Shannon Allen, Dexter Hand, what's going on, family? Glad to have you all. Before we start, I do want to announce to anybody who doesn't know already, make sure you check out CoinDesk, my podcast on there with CoinDesk, as well as check out the article featuring me and Jack Dorsey from Twitter on Cointelegraph. And last but not least, make sure you visit Bitcoin in Black America. Pick up that book if you don't already have it. Like I said before, this is a critical time in Bitcoin's history and in Black history, in my opinion. Financial history, period. And I think, honestly, this book is one of, not the only, but one of the solution-based books that will help. So get that in your repertoire there. Let's see, who's that? Evan. Hey, how you doing, brother? Let's jump into our first news story here. New Zealand proposes to free crypto from some taxes to promote growth. New Zealand's tax authority has issued new proposals on the good and services tax related policy in regard to cryptocurrencies, and they are seeking public feedback. Their Inland Revenue Department, sort of like their IRS, released a paper with proposals on the improvement and simplification of tax requirements and exclusion of cryptocurrencies from specific GST provisions. That is a great aspect of this paper, because if you can have certain aspects of cryptocurrency excluded from taxes simply because it's a totally different type of money, maybe excluding airdrops, maybe excluding because that can be regarded as gifts, which I think you still may have to pay taxes on it at a certain point. But yeah, airdrops could be regarded as gifts. Staking could be regarded as an interest-bearing account that if you don't actually take the money out, it's not taxable. So there's a lot of different ways that this would make the tax market in the crypto space more reasonable. And New Zealand has actually stated here the definitions used for money are financial services as exempt supplies, meaning they are not subject to GST. They're not subject to this tax, and it does not contemplate crypto assets, meaning GST may be imposed on certain types of crypto assets, but not others, simply because you can't put it all under one umbrella. You have tokens, you have cryptocurrencies, you have different platforms that you can build off. I mean, it's so much that you can do with so many different coins. The tax code is definitely going to have to be rewritten, and there's more coming. So they also state here, the proposed GST changes would only apply to supplies of crypto assets, other services related to crypto assets that are not in themselves supplies of crypto assets, such as mining, providing crypto asset exchange services, providing advice, general business services. So these are things that will probably be left out of the taxable code that they have. And I think this is just the start of all governments, because if you know, there is not Davos, but there's a big meeting going on right now. I can't, it's right on the tip of my tongue, I can't remember it, but a lot of big bankers and financial people are meeting, and that's all they're talking about is how can we tax it? How can we regulate cryptocurrency? And some of these countries have gotten ahead of the game, Like I've said before, they can't agree on small things. So there's no way they're going to agree on a tax a tax code for cryptocurrency worldwide. However, there will be some that link up. They have certain interests, so that will happen there. Let's see what's going on. Sergeant Crypto, Mr. Gibson, Shannon Allen. Oh yeah, definitely glad to have you in here. So moving on to our next story. How to protect Bitcoin for your heirs with the push of a dead man's button. All right. So we talk about, generational wealth, people talking about Bitcoin long term. However, if you were to die right now, would your family have the way of accessing your Bitcoin? And that is something that a lot of people need to answer or have that answer ready. Some people have wills, some people have, estate planning. Crypto will be a part of that. Crypto is a part of it now. We have people who have already passed away and their private keys have been lost, aka Quadriga CX, 300 million, almost gone until it was recovered by somebody else. So let's get into the story here. Lightning Labs infrastructure engineer Juice Jaga has been exploring using Lightning for messaging over the past year. At the Advancing Bitcoin conference in London, he hosted a workshop to explore building a dead man's button with Lightning. This mission was to show that Lightning can be used as a messaging system as well as a payment network. And if you don't know what the Lightning network is, it is a faster and cheaper method of sending and receiving Bitcoin. Security is an issue right now. Also, getting people to run Lightning nodes is an issue, but those things could be solved in the future. They call it something called KeySend, and it's very experimental. But what you can basically do is a user, if you want to pass on a Bitcoin inheritance, you would communicate with the service. You push a button, so to say, that would send a message every week or so to signify that the user is still alive. If it isn't pressed 1 week, it would assume it's dead. And then at that point, the service would dispense a secret, which can be used to retrieve the crypto. So the only way that this crypto can be taken is if you can't access it for more than a week, that button is pushed and your family can receive it. I'm sure there'll be more laws tied to it where there'll be lawyers who say, hey, this button can't be pushed unless you have power of attorney. This button can't be used unless you are next of kin. All these things are going to factor in. That's why I want people to realize it's not too late. It's so much more that has to go into this industry to build it. That's why I'm so excited for the future of crypto, because we're just beginning. But these are small steps. And this dead man's button would make it pretty much easier than any other method of having to go through to distribute funds. Because I know some people, they get payouts from insurance funds after somebody passes. It takes months. You have deliberations with lawyers. It's a very convoluted process with way too many hands in the middle, taking their percentage, giving their advice. It's all that's done, man. But we just have to develop it and make sure that this dead man's button works and security-wise that it can't be stolen. So shout out to the Lightning Labs engineer, Juice Jaga. Thank you all for your work. And this is a very interesting application of Lightning Network. So let's see who we got here. Jonathan Jeffrey, what's going on, brother? Sergeant Crypto, what's going on, brother? Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. 1 week is sort of short. It was just a test at a conference. They just sort of beta tested it. But yeah, a month. I wonder if they could give you options, say every 6 months, I don't know. Because for somebody like me, let's say, for instance, this button was on a desktop computer and I travel for months at a time. I wouldn't want to be beholden to having to get back to push this button. So I may want to say, hey, every 6 months, I'll check in and whatnot. So yes, that is something I think could be developed out. Moving forward, hold 1 second. Got somebody jumped in. D. Sharon, thank you for jumping in. And shout out to everybody on Facebook. Oh yeah, Xavier Young, Early Miller. Glad to have you all in here joining us today for the show. So let's jump into our next story. Crypto-friendly banking app, now one of Europe's most valuable fintechs. All right, so shout out to Revolut. Let's go ahead and give them a hand clap. Good gracious, man. United Kingdom-based digital bank Revolut has raised 500 million in a fresh funding round and tripled its valuation to 5.5 billion with a B. This was reported by the Financial Times, and it makes them one of Europe's most valuable fintech firms. The good thing about Revolut is that they are crypto friendly. They allow you to exchange Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Ripple. This firm, they received their banking license in Lithuania back in 2018, and they're paving the way for you to be able to move your money within one app between banking, between crypto and investment. So the funding round was led by venture capital group TCV. They have invested in things such as Facebook, Airbnb, LinkedIn, Spotify. So they know what they're doing. They've invested in some top projects, and it looks like Revolut is the next. They were valued. I remember hearing about them being valued at just over $1 billion, 1.7 billion earlier. But their customer growth rose by 150% in 1 year. I believe crypto had a good amount to do with that, because a lot of onboarding, getting people into crypto, people are like, all right, so what can I use to get on? What's the easiest? What's the simplest way? I would say Cash App, but you can't really move Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Ripple on there, just Bitcoin. So Revolut in Europe, for them, may be easier because they can do all four, and even more than that, probably in the future. So it says here, the UK is proving to be a highly lucrative market for disruptor banks, sometimes dubbed neobanks. Here we go with new words. Users soaring from 7 million to 19 million last year, according to a report by Accenture. And Revolut's launch in the United States should come soon if they can clear some regulatory hurdles. Come on, America. Jesus Christ. What kind of regulation do we have that we have people creating amazing stuff and we can't get it out for 2 or 3 years? Because of regulators. That's why when you go to China or you go to certain Asian countries, you go overseas, you see so much innovation because they don't have as much regulators in between telling them not to do it and holding their hand like their children. So let's see who else we got to comment. Shout out to Deidre McIntyre. Shout out to you. Thank you for the hookups in New York. And yes, Mac Darrell, thank you for joining as well. Let's see who else we got. The P-Man Van, struggling to get that one BTC, lower prices help. Yeah, definitely. I've seen some people call for Bitcoin to go back to 8,000, whatever. Like I've always said, dollar cost averaging is the best strategy. Let's see. Leroy Forbes, blessings to you as well, my man. And let's see what we got. Jonathan Jeffrey, once a quarter should be good. Oh, yeah. In reference to the dead man's button we referred to on the Lightning Network, they want to do it once a week. Once a quarter should be good every 3 months. Yeah, I think we should be able to adjust it based on different time schedules. So let's see. Crypto Cube are waiting for daddy government to give them the okay, which is hilarious, especially in the Black community. I don't even know why we listen to people in the government anymore. They have messed us over so much. It's hilarious to see people take up for them. Like, oh, we gotta do what we got. No, you don't. You should be actively going away from the same people who oppressed you. But that's a story for another day. And it's also in Bitcoin and Black America. So you're right. Tired of seeing the sheep. Who, someone who I consider myself somewhat successful, trying to show people a way forward, and then they question it. And it's like most of them are older than me. I'm like, you saw where we came from, man. You saw we came from what was it, house phones? We didn't have a cordless yet, and some people were rotary phones when they were growing up, and then now we're all the way to your phone is a computer, but somehow money won't change. So, like I said, done trying to convince people, but I love helping people who want to be helped. So Max X, wish my kitchen was that clean. Oh yeah. I try to keep it clean, even though I travel a lot. But yeah, it's not used very often, so it's pretty easy to keep it clean. Let's see. S1 does. Many will be sitting on the couch in November. Yep, I say it all the time. So let's get into our last story of the day. Billionaire investor Tim Draper quit stocks for Bitcoin 6 months ago. So for those of you who have seen the stock market take a dive, Jesus Christ, down 3%, which is a lot in the stock market in one day. Very bloody day yesterday. That is something that I tell people all the time, that if you're a smart investor and you can see things coming from a macro vision, people like Tim Draper, he got out of stock 6 months ago before what I believe is about to happen, sort of crash, so to say, in the market. So he holds a lot of Bitcoin in his portfolio, and he pulled all his wealth out of public stocks. And, when they ask him how much Bitcoin he has, of course, he just kind of responds, it's a lot. And I'm just a believer. And I look and say, hey, this is just better. Long-term, people move to things that are better. Tim Draper, billionaire, investor. I don't know how much more people you need to listen to. Let's see. Draper, he was speaking in his characteristic Bitcoin logo tie, which is becoming very popular now. He has a purple tie he wears all the time. He also added his VC firm, Draper Associates. They were still active in private markets such as Tezos, which is more than doubled since the beginning of the year. So he also rejected the criticism from Warren Buffett, which is the biggest thing I want to get into here, For those of you who heard about Warren Buffett, he was on TV. This is a guy who missed Google, he missed Facebook, he missed Amazon. He had to write apology letters to his investors for not putting any of their capital into these tech companies. He doesn't know tech. He doesn't pretend to know tech. So, and he's one of the biggest investors in a lot of these banks. Of course, he doesn't like Bitcoin. And that's exactly what Tim Draper said here. Of course, he's worried. He said, Draper retaliated. And the exact quote from Buffett is, cryptocurrencies basically have no value and they don't produce anything, which is hilarious. There's an entire website called CoinMarketCap. Bitcoin is literally worth $9,300 right now. So they have value. And of course, for those of you who, go with what he says as far as investment advice, not taking anything away from what he does. He stays in basically what he feels is almost guaranteed markets, but volatility is good for those for people who want to make more money. So more risk, more reward. But at the same time, if you know the industry, which is what we do, and you try to help people with it, you can definitely make those gains long term. One of the biggest aspects of this story too is that I saw people on Twitter who they're kind of torn. Like Buffett is some people's hero growing up, but crypto is their life right now. So they don't know whether to go with him, whether to go crypto. It's good to see, but I think most people are like, nah, we're done with that dinosaur. And should have did dinosaur of the day for Warren Buffett. We'll probably have another one, but we talk about him enough. Let's see who we got in the comments. Shannon Allen, would you take reparations in BTC over fiat? Check if someone provisioned it. Yeah, I would definitely take it in Bitcoin. And I believe that's that's one thing I've always said. I believe you can take your own reparations. So to say, if you are investing in Bitcoin, you help build the Bitcoin economy, you stay in it long enough, you can give yourself those reparations, because people are not seeing 1,000, 10,000% gains on anything in any industry except for crypto. So the money that you could make back, that can be done in crypto. And also too, even if you don't invest in crypto directly, just working in the industry, you usually are a 20 or 30% bump in pay if you know about blockchain technology, or if you have it as a part of your business. If you're an accountant and you know how to do crypto taxes, you're in the 1% right now. You're going to have almost every company trying to run to you. If you're a lawyer right now and you know how to solve cases that involve crypto, divorce cases, money disputes, you're in the 1% right now. Anything that involves crypto, blockchain, the tokenization of things, if you have some sort of insight and you can add it to your business or your business that you work for, you can actually work there doing that. That is all a bump in pay. Everybody makes more money. And at the end of the day, as much as people want to talk about the world changing, ain't shit changing unless we got more money. So you got to make more money. You got to do more stuff. I think Bitcoin can help. And, Buffett, the dino, is trying to keep people out. I know right now there are actively bankers buying crypto as we speak. And then they get on TV and tell you not to buy it. They're pulling the okie doke. They don't want regular people to win. And I don't really rock with that. So everybody watching here, you already know my stance. Stop being scared. Get on it. If you have any sort of liquid income right now, I would say, hey, cash is king. But investment in Bitcoin at this point could be long-term, generational wealth. So shout out to Kevin Hodges jumping in. Respect fam to you as well. Shout out to Shay Camp. Thank you for joining in. Let's see who else we got here. PFC Wells, what's going on, brother? Glad to see you. My brother Trek Clove 71, what's up? Let's see. Max X Buffett made his money insider trading. They all did. All the big traders there. That's how you win. If you watch Billions, they didn't. Hollywood writers are not that creative. They literally have somebody who comes in as an advisor, tells them old war stories, and they, put it in the mixer and they come up with it, and then they put it on TV. So people are like, oh yeah, that's TV stuff. No, that's real. So shout out to Warren Buffett for getting his money insider after getting $100,000 loan. I guess that's an accomplishment. Let's see, Ryan James. I knew it. Sneaky bastard. Yeah, definitely. P-Man Van been doing it very gradually since last May. Yeah, got a dollar cost average. Get in there. Also sell some goods for Bitcoin. That also works as well. So let's see, Rashu, what's some long holds you suggest? Bitcoin, of course. I would say Ethereum. Metronome, of course, who I'm doing community management with, built to last long term. Want some Monero for some private transactions. I would say Binance may be the biggest exchange in the world in a few years, so you may want some BNB. Those are just some that I rock with long term, but those can change, and honestly, more can be added. There are a lot of great projects, but there's 99% trash, but I believe that the 1% of the good projects that will stay, I think I found a few of them. Not all, but just a few of them, because it will progress. And let's see who else we got. Dion, glad to have you in on the show as well. And let's see if we don't have any more questions. That is all for me today. Like we said before, make sure you grab the book, Bitcoin in Black America, available on Amazon as well as bitcoininblackамerica.com. Definitely check out CoinDesk. Check out that podcast I have with them, the biggest crypto news site in the world. Check out Cointelegraph, the second biggest news site in the world. My article in there, as well as like I said before, any other Metronome Telegram or articles that we have on Medium. I've written, I don't know how many articles, I lost count, about Metronome. So if you want to learn, make sure you go to Medium, check it out. So yes, a lot of great information coming out, a lot of good things. And once again, Friday, we will be interviewing John McAfee. John McAfee will be interviewed by us. It will be pre-recorded. So once the show is ready and edited, we'll put that out. So we won't be doing the show live. But once again, like I said, McAfee is coming. The audio book is coming, almost done as well. And a few more surprises coming as well. I don't want to put them out there right now, but trust me, we are working. I'm working hard and definitely get this crypto out and get the message out to everyone. So thank you all for watching and have a great day. Cheers.